I love gift card holders. I love to make them, I love to give them. So I thought it might be fun today to do a little quick tutorial on how I made these little gift card holders. They've got a belly band around them, and you can slide off the belly band. And then on the inside, it's got another color there with a little notch. And you can slide your gift card in easily. It fits it perfectly. And put the belly band back on. Slide it across there to the middle. And I just think those turn out so pretty. So let me show you just a couple of these others. I use whatever color is on the inside to do this part of the band, and then I use the outside to do the flower middle. So let's slide this one off, and I'll show it to you. It's just that plain color on the inside of that one. This one has got more of a flower pattern with polka dots. Isn't that cute? And then this one. That one. I already showed you the pink one, and then this has the pretty little pattern on the middle as well. Okay, so now I'll move these up out of the way. Got them all put back together, and I'll show you how I make these. Now, I've made a lot in the past where I have used my envelope punch. So this is a We Are Memory Keeper envelope punch, and then I've also got one that's a small one that I really like using for this. And I've started a few Christmas ones here. I haven't finished the little belly band part for them yet. And I'll pop up some pictures here of what these look like finished. But you would put your card in here, fold down the flap, and then you would have some kind of cute little, you know, like I use the little flowers on the other ones. This one you can pop that up. And like I said, I'll throw some pictures on here that you can see. Here's some quick pictures of these gift card holders that were made for Christmas. And I've added a little jingle bell to the bottom of each of these. But I wanted to, and I make these with the punch board. But I wanted to make some for those of you that don't have a punch board, and just with some very simple supplies. So let's get started with that. Move these off to the side. And I am going to start out, it's easiest to make this if you have some double-sided paper. So like this has the double side, it's got flowers on one side and just kind of a little dot pattern on the other side. I'm going to cut this down to 5 1/4 by 5 1/2. Okay, now before I go too much further, I'm going to flip my paper over since this is at the 5 1/2 mark, and I'm going to, with my pencil, just put a little X down here in the very bottom. Because this is close enough for me that I want to be able to make sure that I'm getting my scoring lines done right here. So on the 5 1/2 side, and I'm keeping my dots here, or my X's here, so I know this is going this way. I do not have a scoreboard. If you have a scoreboard, this will make it really easy. But if you don't have a scoreboard, just use the little groove that's in your trimmer. So the first measurement I'm going to do is going to be on the 5 1/2 side. So I'm going to have my X's going downward, and I'm going to go to 1 1/4, and then I'm going to score. And then I'm going to go to 3 3/4 and score. Get lined up there. Then I'm going to flip my paper, and on the 5 1/4 side, I'm going to go at 3/4. And at 4 1/2. Okay, now I'm going to erase my little marks because they don't mean anything anymore, and I'm going to put 2 marks on here again. Okay, so I've got my cutout sheet here. And if I flip this, oh goodness, I don't know if you can tell, just a little bit. I have a bigger end and then I have a smaller end. So on my smaller end, I'm going to put 2 X's there because I want to cut this out. And it's going to end up looking, excuse my arm, it's going to end up looking like this. Kind of like a t-shirt shape without the little notch in the middle. So when I do that, I want to come up and here and over, and then here and over. So that's why I have these X's at the bottom so I don't get them mixed up, because, don't ask me how I know that. Yeah, I was trying to come up with this and I kept over and over cutting the wrong end. You know, I'd have it flipped this way and cutting, but anyhow, I finally got it and I put those X's on there to help remind myself, and they don't show anyway, so I can learn from my mistakes. Okay, so now I want to cut in at a little bit of an angle here on that end and on this end. Okay, so if we fold this in and fold this in and then fold this and this, and then I'm going to go through and just use my bone folder here and smooth those down. And then we'll give you a little sneak peek of what this is going to look like when I fold this up. So this is going to go up. And sometimes it doesn't match up perfectly, so you can kind of adjust it, or I'm all about trimming at the end if you need to. Okay, in order to get this little notch that's in these, pull that out. In order to get this little notch that's here, I'm going to use a little hole punch, and this is just a 3/4 inch hole punch. It doesn't matter if you've got a bigger one or a smaller one, or you can even use a scallop punch. This one's 1 inch. You just want something here that's going to have a little groove, and you can also not even have a little groove. You can just have it, leave it as is. But I'm going to put a little hole punch here so it's a little bit easier to pull it out for the recipient. And let's see, that's about halfway, so I'm going to go a little less than halfway in there, and I want to kind of make sure I got it somewhat even. I'm not measuring. If you want it perfect, you can measure that out, but I think that's good enough. And then I'm going to use my corner rounder and come up and round these corners just to finish it off a little bit more. So now, quick as that, we are ready to glue this down. And the part that I'm going to glue on here is going to be these two little edges here. So I'm just going to bring in my Elmer's glue, my glue paper, and I'm going to be pretty generous with this glue on this section. You can use a wet glue if you like, but if you've seen any of my other videos, I do like my Elmer's glue. It seems to work well for me. So I'm just going to fold that up. A little bit too much there on the edge. We'll wipe that off. And then I'm going to hold that in place for just a minute here while it adheres. And I think this is going to be a pretty cute one. I like the flowers that are on there. Okay, so now I want to make my belly band that's going to go around. And if you'll notice on all of these, I've got a brown, I used brown craft paper, and then whatever color is on the inside is what I used for the little layer on there. So let me pull over. Let's see, we got this, that piece is too little and this piece is too little. So I'm going to, okay, I'm going to pull this over, and I've got a piece of craft cardstock, and I'm going to cut this, pull out here just a little bit. I'm going to cut this at 1 inch by 6 inches. So there's my 1 inch, and we'll go over cut it by 6.
And then I'm going to go ahead, while I've got this pulled here, will that be long enough? Not quite long enough. I'm going to use, that one will be long enough. And I'm going to make this 3/4 of an inch. Alrighty. And then a couple pieces of glue paper here. Now before I glue this down, I want to go ahead and ink the very edges of this. I think it just kind of gives it a nice look to it. And I'm all about inking. So I'm just using the Tim Holtz Distress ink, and this is in the walnut stain color. Just go down both sides and on the edges, because those edges are going to be showing on this. Okay, that'll be good. And you could go along and ink this one if you want as well, but I think that'll be good. And instead of measuring this out, I'm just gonna cut it about the same width on the end. Straighten that up just a wee bit. Okay, now I'm gonna use my two pieces. We're gonna glue this. Okay, I'm doing that backwards. I don't want this side showing, I want this side showing. So make sure I glue on the right side here. And of course it doesn't have to be coordinating paper. You could do whatever color that you think is going to go with it on these belly bands. That's the fun of this. Center that up. Give it a nice smash down. Okay. Just gonna put it in the middle. And just give it a little fold wherever it's meeting those edges. And then I'm going to slide it off, use my bone folder on this. Make sure it's still fitting good. And then we'll glue that down. Okay, I think that's going to slide well. So when I glue this down, let's see, do I want that at the top? Yeah, I think that'll be pretty good. Yep. Okay, so if I want that there, I am going to take my pencil and come under just a little bit. Let me mark so I can glue up to that line. I know how far to go, so it won't be going out and catching my other part. And again, I'm going to put this on pretty thick. Line up the sides, and we'll hold that for just a second. Okay, so now in order to make this centerpiece on here, make my little flower, I'm going to go ahead and use this 1 inch. This is a scallop punch, and then I'm going to use a 3/4 inch circle for the middle. So I want a brown craft cardstock piece. Let me see, here it is. Move some of my stuff out of the way. Okay. Just punch that out, and then while I'm here punching, grab my paper. Let's see, I want this side on here. So let's see. I think that'll be cute. I'll just go here in the corner. That'll look nice. And I'm going to go ahead and ink the edges of this part real quick too. And then I'm going to center that up with my glue.
all of these, if you'll notice, I've got, I don't know if you can tell or not, it's got just a little bit of height to it, and I'm adding a little bit of dimension. So I'm just going to use this foam tape to do that. Let's cut off a little chunk. And I'm going to center that up here right in the middle. And then this is ready to go on. I think that looks nice. So on all these, you'll notice I did put a little jewel in the middle of these. And so I've got some of those here. Let's see if we want a pinkish one. Oop. Glue on my fingers. Or maybe a greenish one. Keep sticking. Pink or green, pick or green. I think I'll just go with the green. I think that'll be good. So in order to put that on and help it to stay good, I'm just going to use this tacky glue. And I've got this in an old jar containers that I've had for years, and I keep it upside down in there so that it's always down in the end for me and doesn't get clogged up that way. I'll put one dot here in the middle. Okay, and that one is done. It is ready to go. So we'll let that dry. And I wanted to show you, if you do not have, I've already cut this one down. So if you've got, okay, so if you have a piece of cardstock that you like I think this is really cute, but on the other side, it's just plain white. So you can still make it. Of course, you can just make this and have it be white on the inside. But I like to pretty it up just a little bit with another coordinating color. So what you can do with that, and I've already cut this down, I've done this one here. And then as you can see, it's white on the back. So I'm just going to add a piece of, instead of cardstock, because I don't want this to get too thick, I'm just going to add a piece of just regular paper over top. And I've already cut it down. You know, you could just, I just didn't get fancy about it. I just put it up next to it, and I put a mark with my pencil on this side and then a mark down here at the bottom. Cut it out, used my rounder paper cutter thinger, and had that ready to go. So we'll bring over a couple of new glue strips and we'll finish this one together real quick. I really like how quickly these come together. They're just quick and easy and really nice if you don't have an envelope maker. Pop that on there. And of course, if you don't get it perfect, it's okay. We've got scissors that we can trim along the edge, and you're not going to see any of this bottom part anyway, so it's really just the top part. And we got that pretty close. I think a little bit right in there. And a little bit right there. Okay, so then we would just go through and do the same thing, fold in our sides. Fold this down at the mark. And fold in this one. Of course, putting that other little piece on the top is going to make it a little thicker, but I still see my score line pretty good, and I think I can make it work. Now, when I fold that, you can see that's showing a little bit more of that wide edge. So I'm just going to run my scissors along there and trim that up. And that is no big deal. Come in and snip that a little better, and I think we are good to go. Isn't that pretty with that paper underneath there? So the next thing I would do again is just come through here, a little less than half, and then fold those in. So I'll probably just leave that and finish this off camera, but I just wanted to show you how you could do it if it's just white on the inside too, to give it a little more color. And of course you could go in any color theme that you like. I'll be making lots of these for Christmas time. Oops. I'll be making lots of these for Christmas time. And I love giving these at birthdays. You can make some out of plaid for guys' birthdays, and I wanted to show you this one too. It's just got a little black behind it. It's a little more antique-ish look. So double-sided paper or not, I think you can have lots of fun with these. So I will pop up some pictures of some of these here at the end, and then I think that's all for today. So thanks for watching again, guys. See ya.